Welcome back to MLive's Dungeon of Doom podcast. I am Ben Raven. He is Kory Woods. Kory, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. How about yourself, man?
I'm all right. You know, I'm sitting in the visiting coach's room booth in the press box. I'm just looking out at this beautiful field, this open air field. Just a beautiful stadium. I love this stadium. I've been impressed by Cincinnati, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Lions winning their fourth straight game. They are 4-1, beating the Cincinnati Bengals 37-24. Kind of a weird fourth quarter that kind of took away from the true blowout it was. But Kory, let's hear your takeaways. I'm in Cincinnati. Kory's at home, but what were the takeaways for you, Kory?
Well, first off, I thought that the defense was impressive. This was another, towards the end, things got a little bit crazy for them. I guess you can say that I don't think the game was ever in doubt, but, hey, the Bengals made it interesting. Jake Browning, after an abysmal start, got 3 late touchdowns. So they made it interesting. But, at least I guess you could say for 3.5 quarters, the Lions defense played as stellar as you could ask them. The offense did capitalize on 2 of those turnovers. Thought they should have made it 3 of them, but it is what it is. I think that if you look at last week's game, and when you heard Dan Campbell afterwards say that they're not going to basically apologize for a win, but it was not good enough, I expect him to hear some of the same message from there, because again, I think they left a lot of plays out there, and next week they got another road game against a very tough opponent, and you I'm not going to say you got lucky to win these last 2 games, because again, I don't think it was ever in doubt, but you can't leave some of the plays they left out there going into Arrowhead against the Chiefs. But overall, good win. And got to say again, Kelvin Shepherd, Lions fans, I'm not saying he's going anywhere anytime soon, but this guy, he's gonna make himself a hot commodity real soon.
I fully agree. It's the reason why coming out of last week's game, I chose to write about Shepherd in my Monday morning column, and we're recording this Sunday night, October 5. It's about 11 p.m. My column tomorrow morning is going to be on David Montgomery, what he means to this team, what's his homecoming meant to him. But last week it was Shepherd, and it's just because Shepherd has proven to be. You guys know me. I defended Aaron Glenn. Even with y'all yelling at me, I'm like, this guy's a good coach. Like, this guy's a good defense coordinator. Kelvin Shepherd, I love that he has taken the lessons from AG, taken the lessons from his playing career, taken the wide open door from Dan Campbell to be himself and coach like himself and hype his guys up the way he wants to hype them up while looking the way he wants to look. And just, I know it's 5 games into his tenure as defensive coordinator, but man, yeah. I think he is a rising star to watch. And I think the Lions know that, because this game today, like you said, it was never in doubt. Like, I never felt like this game was in doubt, but it went from a complete kicking to a 13-point win. Right. The Bengals put up 21 points in the fourth quarter, and spoke with Meek Roberts in the locker room, who had an interception on a freaking jump ball to Jamar Chase. Beating Chase in a jump ball for a Meek. I know Chase plays like he's a towering receiver, but I think he's only 6 foot 6'1", but a Meek ain't 6 foot. Let's just say that. He went up and got that pick, but that big 62-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, a Meek, that's all he cared about, was talking about that after the game. He said, I got greedy. I told myself I wanted 2 today. Chase stopped at the sticks. I bit hard, and he was off to the races. So I just think Shepherd's level of impossible to reach accountability has really rubbed off on these guys. The Lions got 3 takeaways today, all 3 interceptions, led to 14 points. That's a good day at the office. We've seen them waste a couple of those opportunities this year, so I'd like to see that. But I don't know, man. This was as big of a blowout as a 13-win can get, because it was 28-3. And it felt like the Lions could just steamroll. And that Jake Browning offense for 3 quarters was so bad, it had Dan Campbell punting on enemy territory on 4th and 3. So I think that's I seriously looked down for a second. I was like, all right, I wonder what they're going to do on this 4th and 3. And then I'm like, oh, Jack Fox is punting. What? But I just think that speaks to the trust in the defense, understanding the opponent in front of you. And, yes, the fourth quarter sucked. But, hey, man, That's a good day at the office. They were in control the whole time. The defense was ferocious. Goff and St. Brown were legit. Johnny Morton was in his bag at just the right times. The Wildcat touchdown pass from David Montgomery was fantastic. And I mean, Goff, man, efficient. And when nothing else is opening up, he goes to Sam Laporta for a big day. And St. Brown with the quietest 100-yard day you'll ever see. I mean, we've said it before. I'll say it again. Do not take St. Brown and Goff. I don't think you guys do, but I'm just saying don't take it for granted because that connection that they have is freaking special.
Well, it's kind of interesting you mentioned that because you already know I kind of like him. I'm a Facebooker. I talk to the fans out there, and there were a lot of fans.
He's an old millennial.
I'm an old millennial. Get off my lawn. But no, yeah, there were a lot of fans that were wondering, why is he not getting the ball to JMO? Why is he not getting the ball to JMO? And I'm like, are you guys paying attention to this game, or are you paying attention to your fantasy and your parlays? Because I mean, it's not like Jared Goff is throwing to some scrubs outside of JMO. He's throwing to an all-pro receiver in St. Brown, a one-time all-pro tight end in Sam Laporta. And JMO, the coverage that he's drawing, taking guys out deep, he's just giving Goff everything that he needs underneath. And that chemistry just cannot be overstated. I believe the first 8 passes, not all the Goff, I mean, not all the St. Brown, but just to those guys, Goff again just is efficient. And that chemistry is just when you have a connection that good, you have to take advantage of it because guess what? If teams are not going to stop it, make them. I mean, that's the one thing I will say about this. You maybe can have some questions about, hey, you can ask Johnny Mo, is he going to do this? He's going to do that. But one thing that we've seen from him is that if something is working, he's going to stick with what works until the defense makes him change it up.
No, exactly. I mean, JMO, 1 target, 1 catch, 9 yards, 1 carry, 1 yard. Honestly, doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, and that is the beauty of this offense is when a guy like that, who just signed a giant $80+ million deal, has 2 quiet days in a row. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like there is no doubt in my mind that Goff will continue to go back to JMO. I think there's a lot more trust than it gets credit for there. And I just think they took what the defense gave them, and what the defense gave them more often than not was a wide open Sam Laporta or a wide open Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, freaking Laporta was awesome on the first drive.
Yeah.
Got his first touchdown of the year. St. Brown, 8 catches, 100 yards. And don't look now, St. Brown, 25 years old, is already 4th all time on the franchise leaderboard, past Brett Pierman today. There's only 3 Lions receivers ever in front of St. Brown on the all-time leaderboard in receiving yards, and it's Calvin Johnson, Herman Moore, pretty elite freaking company right there, and Johnny Morton. I mean, he's 25 years old. He turns 26, I think, next month. It's just there's going to be days where it's JMO going off, and it's not. I mean, this is the thing, and this is not a knock. JMO is the definition of a boom or bust receiver. Like, that's just his style. And it's also a factor of what this offense can do. If the defense is taking away those deep shots, you've got some over-the-middle killers, and that's what it was today. But, I mean, I liked the offense today. The offense isn't going to get the credit it deserves today, and that's fair. The defense was awesome. 3 takeaways, more sacks for Hutchinson, a freaking safety to clinch the game at the end, and just great defense all game long. But, like, man, I liked what I saw out of the backfield a lot today, too. Gibbs, 12 for 54. Montgomery, 18 for 65 and a touchdown. Throws a touchdown. Direct snap, wild caught to Brock Wright. Emotional homecoming for David Montgomery. His sister was paralyzed in a serious crash a little more than a year ago. This was his first time playing back in Cincinnati in a long time. He's from this area. He was a high school quarterback in this area. So I just know that this was a special day for him. And the Lions are not a charity case. They were not just trying to get David Montgomery touchdowns because this was his homecoming and his family and his sister were in the stands. No, it's what we've been telling y'all the whole time. This guy remains a focal point of this offense. And when you're trying to grind out a win, you're going to go to Montgomery. And the fact that he can throw as well as he can, man, I just shout out Johnny Morton, shout out Montgomery, and shout out Dan Campbell for just having the feel of what's going right for this offense. I just this team is in a really good spot right now. I mean, to recover from the opener the way they have. Listen, I know the Bengals are without Joe Burrow. I know they played the Browns last week, but 4 in a row is 4 in a row, especially with the tough schedule coming up before the bye week with the Chiefs and the Bucks, back-to-back primetime games. You got to take care of these games because, like, the Bengals are without Burrow, but they got a lot of star power. And you saw what that star power can do in the fourth quarter when it's clicking. But, yeah, man, I loved the day for Montgomery. I had a feeling he was going to get a touchdown today. I did not have a passing touchdown on my bingo card, as you like to say, but I thought the offense picked all the right spots. It wasn't as explosive as people want to see, but like they took care of business.
You know, it's crazy. I had a boomer comment on my page, and he said David Montgomery was going to throw a touchdown pass. I had to go back to that. I'm like, wow, I need the Mega Millions numbers.
Yeah,
But no,
legit.
it's just it. But I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. You would like to see them close out the games better because you know that's another game where the defense got a little bit questionable towards the end because like what they did it again with the Ravens game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day is that these are paid professionals. They went out there and they won the game. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat a bad team. I think there would be concern if they lost to a bad team the way they did. They still won convincingly because I mean I think winning by more than 10 points in the NFL is still a feat in itself, people. So
100%.
you got to give them credit for that. It's a good win. I mean, especially after the wave that Trey Hendrickson was getting after Goff today. I mean, oh man. Like I told you, I made the joke. I said he kind of sacked him really gently on that last one. Is he trying to protect him for some reasons? Wink, wink. But it was a great win. They're showing that hey, it doesn't matter what we have going on. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter who's in front of us. We are going to find a way to win. Now you got what? You're 4-1. You're sitting real pretty atop the NFC North. I think that right now the focus is at worst splitting these next two games so you can go into the bye week at worst 6-2. And I mean they're in a really good spot right now, here's the thing about it: this team has not peaked yet, which is the beautiful thing. So, hats off to them. One thing that I'm just gonna add to is just that Dan Campbell really just has the pulse of this team. I
It's unbelievable.
it's just you just got to give it to him. This team is really just starting to find its footing and showcase that hey, we are one of the best teams in the NFL. Doesn't matter what happened last year, doesn't matter what happened the year before that. You're going to have to deal with the Detroit Lions when you step on the field. It's not going to be an easy day in office.
No, and I mean, let's just be real about it. Without Taylor Decker, without DJ Reed, they were up 28-3 going into the fourth quarter. When you're up 28-3 going into the fourth quarter, that's a freaking good day at the office. And I know the 3 touchdowns, whatever, but like, let's be real about the defense. We're not going to shift to the defense just yet because I want to talk about Manu and Decker and the Raymond update, Tesla and all that. But Arnold got hurt. Reed is out. Yasin got banged up. Dorsey is out. Trey Flowers, who signed to the practice squad on Wednesday, I think it was playing in the fourth quarter. So let's not get too carried away. That's okay. That's okay. And it sounds like Dan did not seem too concerned about Terrion. We'll just get that out of the way. He didn't have an update, but the fact that he didn't have an update was a good thing. And I think it was Justin Rogers who told me this quote from Terrion was just like, I'll play until my shoulder falls off. So I think it's just about managing that, figuring it out, because I know Terrion had a couple penalties today, but like, man, when he had that defensive holding penalty that took away this first safety, he had back-to-back pass deflections, and then the third play, he almost was there for the pick that Kirby got. So, hey, man, it's about how you bounce back. But before we go straight to the defense, Taylor Decker did not play today. The Lions straight up said after the game, it's just about the long term. Dan Campbell said they were getting diminishing returns, not through Decker's play, but through his shoulder. It was just a little worse every week, and they think resting him right now He did not rule out next week's return, but he also said Manu, Skipper, and Cochran are in the mix to potentially start if Decker misses Kansas City or if he misses the Bucks game and gets to rest through the bye. But they just said we got to slow it down. Like he's battling it out for us, but we got to do what's right for him. We got to do what's right for us, and just yeah, I mean, Manu making your first career start, first real NFL regular season action. You get to go off against Trey Hendrickson, and I mean, I know the strip sack he gave up. I know he got beat by he didn't give up the second Trey sack, but he got beat in the fourth quarter too. But like, man, I thought Manu was good in run blocking, and it's the thing that I've said about him the whole time. His size, his length, his athleticism, it covers up a lot of holes in his game. I mean, he is still very much a work in progress. But I would just say my vibe right now, if you asked me to make a prediction about Decker, I think he would sit out next week's game in Kansas City. This is just me reading tea leaves. I think Decker does not play next week. Maybe they try to get him for Monday Night Football against the Bucks, but this is one of those situations. I don't think they'll place him on IR because I think they want to continue to like actively see where he's at and how he recovers. But like, I personally speaking, I would not be surprised to see Decker play before the bye. I just think if Dan said Skipper's ready to go, if they're not pleased with Manu, they can play Skip. They've done that before. Sounds like they're open to that again. But I don't know, man. I almost would keep Manu out there. I mean, until he forces you to take him out, just this is really valuable opportunity. And if you can keep winning with him in there, that's a good thing. But yeah, it just sounds like Decker's shoulder. It just kept coming back worse. So props to him for being a freaking warrior. That's freaking awesome. But yeah, it sounds like he needs some time.
I don't think that Decker will probably just stuff of what you're saying. I don't think the play would be to put Decker on IR, but like you said, just make it touch and go week to week because I mean you have Kansas City next week. If you sit him up for Kansas City, I think that would just be smart to give him another week to heal. And then, hey, if Manu has a bounce back game, okay,
Yeah.
it's depending on how it looks on tape, maybe consider sitting him against the Bucks too. So that way you're going into the bye,
Yeah.
and then after the bye, boom, Decker is back. He's had a
Yeah.
significant time off, and then you can go ahead and keep it rolling without throwing him on IR. I just think that the week to week management of it would be the smart play to go because I mean if you win next week and Manu looks good, okay, let's see how you look throughout the week, and then consider, either playing him and sitting Decker, or playing Decker light snaps. I don't know the
Yeah.
proper way to go about it, but you're going to need Decker long term, and you want to
Yeah.
do what's going to be in the best interest of that shoulder.
And that's exactly what Campbell said. He's like, this is about having him for the long haul. Like, this is about having him in the months to come because it's still early in the season. And I'll just say this about Manu. This is the first time they have real NFL tape on him to work with. That's outside of camp, outside of preseason. I mean, this is the real growing opportunities here. So I'm really curious to see there. One last note on the offense. Kalif Raymond suffered a neck injury. Nasty hit. Nasty hit on that punt return. I believe it was late in the first quarter. He did not return. Dan Campbell said, I don't know about next week for Raymond, but it did not sound like it was a significant injury. But with Raymond out, you saw an uptick in targets and reps. Not targets, but reps for Isaac Tesla. And like he's running plays that like he hasn't practiced at full speed. Made another touchdown today, used two hands this time. I mean, with Raymond likely missing next week's game, there's going to be a real opportunity for Tesla to make some noise the more he's practicing with the ones, the more he's repping those plays at full speed. But man, the rookie just continues to give us reasons to believe in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, woo, Tesla is something, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
I
is.
I I I really like his game. I really like the fact that again, I said, hey, I think as the weeks go along, they're gonna try to find ways to get him in there. I said I said by the bye or a little bit after bye, I think he's gonna be that gadget guy. Well, not necessarily that gadget guy, but that X factor in the offense that you're gonna have to account for. And when Goff goes to him, he's bringing it down, and that's the main thing that we know about Goff. Goff is so careful with that ball that he has to trust that when he knows throws in your direction, you're going to come down with it, and he's doing it. So I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what I'm seeing, and I'm just curious to see how they're going to unlock him more. I mean, the Goff has a lot of mouths to feed, and that's a great that's a great thing.
Yep. Another thing for Tesla I loved was getting down in punt coverage and pinning that ball at the 1 yard line. I mean, that is a Detroit Lion play by a skill position player. I mean, just good stuff to see there. And just shout out Goff. Join Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks to hit 75% of their passes, throw for 12 touchdowns, and have a passer rating of 120 plus through the first 5 games. The only other quarterback that's done that was Peyton Manning in 2013. The Lions have set a franchise record for 174 points and 22 touchdowns through the first 5 games of any season. But let's shift to the defense because once again, Calvin Shepard's group played with their freaking hair on fire. It's the first game in franchise history. The Lions have had 3 interceptions, at least 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a safety. Oh my goodness. Robertson had the first pick, Joseph had the second, Anzalone had the third on the first play of the second half that Jake Browning put right in his chest, turned that into 14 points, and just they were able to put it in cruise control a little bit in that second half just by how the defense responded and the fact that they came out there and got that safety after the Bengals got the ball back just to put the cherry on top of a great game by Derek Barnes there. Just I really can't say enough about how this defense has looked. And Liam McNeil is nearing his return.
Uh, that's the other thing about it. I mean, like right now, Lions are second behind the Broncos with 16 sacks. So all the time people are wondering, are the Lions going to get these sacks? Yeah, they're starting to manufacture them. I mean, you're starting to see this team Lions. They're up there with this turnovers. They're starting to put some things together. Kelvin Shepard is he's really he's the one thing I would say that Lions fans should appreciate about him is that he's willing to make the week to week adjustments. He's not stuck in his ways. He's looking for different ways to um, you know, manufacture turnovers. And let me know again with the sacks, again, second in the league. They're fourth in the league with 6 interceptions. I mean, they're kind of creeping up there a little bit. I'll say middle of the pack with the fumbles, but I mean they're fourth in the league in takeaways right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of scary to think about what this defense could be if they get Reed back with
With a
Aleem
lead,
coming back, with Reed coming back, with
Reed,
Malcolm potentially joining the linebacker rotation for the home stretch. I just
that's another sneaky one right
it
there.
is. Yes.
Rodrigo is has not touched the field, so
There's pieces. Yeah.
it's kind of interesting how this is working. Last year they lost their pieces down the stretch.
Yep.
Now they're gaining pieces back down the stretch. It's kind of interesting how that goes.
Yep.
And
Man.
I just I'm gonna say this right now. If they, like I said, at worst, if they go into this bye week 6-2, and you're starting to get these pieces back, I think they can go 7-1. But if you go at worst 6-2, and you're getting these pieces back to go against the Commanders and the Eagles and that backstretch,
Yeah.
this is the perfect time for this team to start taking off.
And I mean, we've said it. Hutchinson is back, all the way back.
Yeah,
might be even better. It wasn't lip service. It wasn't coach speak. I mean, you talk about Jared Goff joining elite company. Hutchinson, his third career game with at least 5 quarterback hits, a sack, and a forced fumble. The only other player to have more games than that is J.J. Watt since 2006. I mean, what Hutch is doing is true defensive player of the year stuff, not just defensive player of the year stuff in Detroit, NFL defensive player of the year stuff. I mean, he has had sacks and a safety taken away from him. He had another forced fumble. That's 3 straight games. He had another sack. He had 5 quarterback hits today. That is just, when you have that guy doing that with the other top pass rusher being Al-Quadin Muhammad. No offense to Al-Quadin Muhammad. Losing Marcus Davenport hurt. It immediately put more pressure on the edge depth. And Hutch is still battling through double teams, battling through chips, and he's producing. It's really unbelievable. And all the pieces are really clicking right now. Jack Campbell has taken 5 steps forward in my mind. He is a assassin against the run. 11 tackles today. Derek Barnes is playing his versatile role just like how he left off before he got hurt early last season. 7 tackles, the sack, a quarterback hit, made a tackle on special teams. You got a Meek playing inside and outside. An interception, 6 tackles. You got Kirby playing through knee pain. I mean, literally at the end of I think it was at the end of the third quarter, they're switching fields, and Kirby stayed at the other side of the field near the end zone, just sitting down, stretching his knee out. Trainer comes and gets him some water, and he walks back. I mean, he is playing through some knee pain. He ditched the sleeve, and he had like an actual knee brace on today, so he's going through it too, but he's playing at a high level. And it's just, man, just really impressive work with Shepard. You got Robertson bouncing inside and outside. Yassine coming in with Robertson going back to the slot. The versatility, the flexibility has always been a cornerstone for this defense, and Dan Campbell got here. But like you said earlier, Shepard really has – I mean, he is changing things about his defense from week to week. He is adding new wrinkles. He's adding new looks. He's adding new rotations. He's coaching on the flies with guys in, guys out, guys exiting, guys coming back, all that stuff. Man, guy's my age. He's 37. It's unbelievable what he's doing as a defensive coordinator. I mean, I just they had the Bengals in absolute hell for 3 quarters today. And I know you want to play all 4 quarters, but man, when your home offense is running on the field, getting booed out of the building before the ball's even been snapped on that series, you are having a good day at the office.
It's just getting scary out there. I mean, you're talking about Hutch. This guy is up there with I think it's like now he's tied for 3rd in forced fumbles, if I'm not mistaken, and
Yeah.
5th in sacks. So I don't know what more you can say about this team in this performance. I will say this. I have no idea what Brad Holmes is doing about this extension because Hutch is making this more expensive for you week by week. You got to get this done by the bye week because this is going to get it really. You've been talking about the bill's coming. You're making the bill a lot higher, Brad. So you might want to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But I mean, just I think that's also too why the Lions were so high on saying that we're good because when you talk about the Myles Garretts, the Max Crosbys, the TJ Watts, the Trey Hendricksons, they believe that they have their guy that can be in that conversation and free up the other guys. So we're at Al Quadine, a Marcus Davenport who's going to be coming back, where those guys can benefit and eat because of what Hutch is doing. And you know, there might be something to it. Yeah, it didn't look good the first week, but you're starting to see this team find its identity, and they have not peaked yet. You still have, as great as Kelvin Shepard has been producing and helping this team manufacture turnovers, he probably still has not hit his stride yet.
Yeah, no, it's fair. They finally accomplished something that Shepard has been begging for.
Oh yeah,
they got the opening drive stop, and they didn't just get the opening drive stop. I mean, they set the tone. I'm just looking at the defensive play. I mean, Muhammad had 3 quarterback hits today. We're talking about guys coming back. You just said it. Marcus Davenport is expected back. I mean, he's already out of the sling. Lee McNeil, Marcus Davenport joining that rotation. Tyleik Williams. I saw a fun stat today. Tyleik didn't have any tackles or anything like that, but he's already got 3 pass breakups at the line of scrimmage this year. That's the most of any interior defender in the Dan Campbell regime in Detroit. That's very impressive. I think that came from Al. Al tweeted that one out at Pride of Detroit. Want to give him credit for that one. I mean, he's finding ways to make plays. He's clogging rushing lanes. I mean, you talk about the Bengals got a pretty good running back in Chase Brown too. He had 27 yards on 8 carries. Perrine had 27 on 4 that came late, I'm pretty sure. And like the only bad things you can say about this defense is that they gave up 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, but like that's what we were talking about all week. Yeah, Jake Browning ain't Joe Burrow. I'm staring at a giant sign in the crowd right now, still hanging up, that says "Get well soon, Joey B." But like, they still got Jamar Chase. He found ways to make play in the fourth quarter. They still got T. Higgins. He found a way to get in the end zone in the fourth quarter too. I mean, this was a backup quarterback matchup, but this was a different backup quarterback matchup because he's got two freaks at wide receiver that got paid almost $300 million combined over this offseason. So you take these wins. You don't. I just have very little to complain about because losing DJ Reed was a huge loss. Not having Taylor Decker was a huge loss. Losing Kalif Raymond, I know he's not the St. Brown or Jameson Williams type, but like, everyone I talked to last week after that Browns win called him a heartbeat member of this team. What he does on punt return, kick returns when he gets put back there, and what he does as his team's de facto third wide receiver is very important. So I mean, there were, I'm very impressed. Like, I'll put it like this: my confidence level in this team was 99.9% coming into the season. It got knocked down to like 85 after that week 1 loss in Green Bay, just because I was like, oh, maybe these changes are going to take a minute to click. Right now, I'm at 110%. Like, this is a bona fide contender. This is a team that I expect to be right there in the running for the number 1 seed in the NFC. This is a team I expect to three-peat in the NFC North. This is a team that they're just going to keep getting better. Mahogany and Ratledge are going to keep getting better. You see them getting better. Decker's going to come back. The defensive line has a chance to frickin' make us eat our words. I mean, Brad is going to walk into that year-end press conference like Conor McGregor if McNeil and Davenport come back and that team stays healthy, like for real, and it's going to be earned. I've been really impressed. With the offensive coordinator, with the defensive coordinator, and you said it earlier, I'll say it again, with Dan Campbell. I mean, that is, you dream of head coach. If you're a fan of an NFL team, you dream of having a coach like Dan Campbell, not just for the aggression, not just for the awesome quotes, not just because he's a genuine, real person, but because how this team believes in him, how this staff coaches in his style, how he talks to and about his players, how he carries himself on the field, and how his coach speak is not coach speak. His lip service is not lip service. They make it reality. And just, I don't know. I know I've said this 100 times over the last 4 years too, but like, everyone talks about building a culture. We saw Matt Patricia do it. Didn't work. We see it happen around the league. These head coaches talk about building a culture. Man, they have got a special bulletproof vest culture here in Detroit. And it all starts with the head man. And man, I'm all the way in on this team now, and I know that's weird to say after playing the Bengals with Jake Browning, but just the way they're winning games, the way the defense is playing, the way Goff and St. Brown are clicking, and the way how it doesn't feel like a finished product yet. And there's reason to feel even brighter and more optimistic about the coming weeks and the new coordinators continuing to find their groove. I mean, there's a lot of new pieces here in main positions, 2 new starting guards, 2 new coordinators. Defense isn't at full strength yet. Man, it's good times. Y'all are in very good hands right now. You should feel very good about this franchise.
You want to talk about crazy stats? Here's one, and Crunch Time Sports had this the other day. I'm going to kind of alter it a little bit because they won today. Dan Campbell has 43 wins so far in his 5-year tenure as the Lions coach. That is 4 more wins than the Lions had from 2001 through 2010.
Oh, man. And 40 of those came in 4 seasons. That's... yeah, I think that's a note we end on right there. Yeah, the Lions, they're 4-1. They beat the Bengals 37-24. Bengals scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Lions were in control all game long. It's on to Kansas City next week, though. Sunday Night Football. Obviously, some questions on Decker, questions on Arnold right now, questions on Raymond. But, man, just no team epitomizes next man up more than this team. They got battle tested through it last year. And, I mean, I know last year sucked. It didn't end how anybody wanted it to end. It didn't go how anybody wanted it to go in terms of who was available and who was out there. But I really do see the lessons being learned, and there is something to be said about that. This is a contender built for the long haul. I have a hard time doubting this team against anyone. Like, you talk about splitting the next 2 games, and I get that. They're 2 tough games. I'm like, man, there ain't no reason they shouldn't win in Kansas City, and there ain't no reason they shouldn't beat the Bucs to go into the bye at 6-1. I'm
Absolutely,
102%.
not.
Yeah, 110% in. I mean, I am all the way back on this team. I just see a vision that's been talked about stronger than ever, man. Really stronger than ever. That locker room, you talk about buy-in. Teams wish they had this level of buy-in that these guys have, and the belief they have in their head coach and each other. I just, even Manu in the locker room today, just like, he's like, I know it wasn't perfect, blah, 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 but like, man, the support I had from strength coaches, defensive coaches, my teammates who I like, teammates I don't talk to as much, coming up and supporting me. This is a real family culture, all those SEO words right there about this team. I mean, they are for real. They are for real. But yeah, I think that's about it for us. We'll be back later this week with the midweek mailbag podcast. We're working on getting a special guest to join us to answer a couple mailbag questions. Yeah, we got a guest coming on, a big time guest, a potential Hall of Fame guest. Not to give it away too much. Always looking.
I know where you're going with that one.
Yeah, my big buddy. Looking forward to getting him on. Hopefully that comes through. It sounds like it should. But yeah, we'll have more for you. But this is MLive's Dungeon and Doom podcast. I'm Ben Raven, and he's Kory Woods. Make sure to send us your questions, dungeonofdoom@mlive.com. Please feel free to voice memo it. We love that. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, go back to the hotel room, get comfy, and write that column for the morning.